Hello, everyone. So glad you're here today. My name is Stephen Schreck, and I'm presenting to you today something that I call the Math GED Minecraft Adventure. So this is something I've been really excited to share, and it's more or less in its infancy right now. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today has a lot of room for growth. So hopefully, though, what you'll find in this is that you'll see, like I do, the potential, the power of using Minecraft in this case to help engage our students and to help them prepare, in my case, help them prepare for the Math GED. So GED students are pretty awesome. They all have a unique story and a unique skill set that they bring into the classroom. So one of our skills as GED educators is to be as adaptive as possible. And by that, adaptation, not only to unique skill sets, but also to unique schedules. So one of the powerful things I think about this specific possibility of using Minecraft is that we'll be able to engage students kind of no matter where they are. So if they're able to make it to a traditional classroom setting, then we can have a group interaction where everyone is controlling their own avatar within Minecraft, answering these questions, and we're interacting together. During those same hours, someone would be able to sign in from home if they're unable to make it to class, or sign in from the computer at a library. But also, if a student, one of our adult learners, is working during that time, or if they're attending to a sick child, or whatever the case might be, and they're unable to make it during those instructional hours, they can also use this as a tool to study outside of those normal classroom hours. So it's pretty self-evident as far as games and motivation is concerned. I mean, video games are designed to be very engaging, and one of the ways that they do that so successfully is that they offer this really tangible sense of progression. And that's something, as a gamer myself, that I wanted to bring into um, developing this world of Minecraft for our GD students. So progress was really important as I was designing the layout and kind of how things would work in this world. And as I will explain later too, I think one of the unique advantages of this with our adult learners is that they're going to be able to share this experience with their kids, who I'm sure are aware of Minecraft. So when I was designing the questions that were going to be in this, in this world of Minecraft, how are students going to benefit from interacting in this virtual world? Well, first of all, I wanted to make sure that I'm using sound questions, challenging questions, questions that are relevant for the Math GED and for success. So one of the things that our students need to do in order to pass the GED is to take kind of like a GED qualifier test called the Ready test. And one of the things the Ready test does after they take the test is it gives them basically like a prescriptive game plan for what to study. And it's from that game plan, I'm taking the elements of that game plan, all the things that they may see, and I'm putting that right into the world of Minecraft using the same language and developing questions that are one-to-one relatable to that study plan. So with this though, there's going to be challenges with anything, and this is a pretty unique type of thing that I'm test driving here. And one of the challenges with this is just the technology. I mean, Minecraft is something that I had to learn, and I even picked up a book called Minecraft for Dummies because I don't know what I'm doing in it. So I had to learn all the controls myself. And just also the technical limitations. I mean, a student, if they're going to log in from home, they're going to need their own computer and internet access as well as a license that we provide them in order to engage in this world. But those are all things that we can overcome. And hopefully the appeal of this will be enough to overcome those challenges. So what I'm sharing with you now is a little world that I developed, and I wanted to prototype the 4 different kinds of questions a student might see on the GED test. The one you're seeing right now is a simple multiple choice question. So there are 4 choices, and below each choice is a lever. Choosing the correct answer will light that block there and provide some feedback that the student is on the right path. And so that would be multiple choice. The next question would be a fill in the blank question. So I'm using an equation to model this. The student would see a question like that, and they would have an empty text box that they'd have to click on and type in an answer. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the digits 1 through 9 as well as a negative block to kind of mimic the action of typing in an answer. In this case, it was -4. Coming next is a type of question where the student will have options from a drop-down menu to choose, and they have to choose the correct response. So for this one, they're completing the sentence, X is less than -3 or greater than -3. So I have to select the correct choice there by interacting with a lever. And they're describing the graph of this solution on a number line, which in this case would be an open circle shaded left. You'll notice that only when both of those levers are activated does the light indicate their correct answer. The next one is going to be a linear equation. And I'm asking them to plot 2 points on the line here. So I've tried to create a coordinate plane using the blocks here in Minecraft, where each coordinate is represented by a lever. This would be the type of question on a GED test where they actually have to click on a coordinate plane, which is basically a blank canvas on the computer screen. They'd have to select the correct points in order to answer the question. So those are the 4 types of questions a student might see on the GED. And as far as those lights there coming on, I'll explain that in the next video, what my goal is with that. So what you're seeing here in the second video is a world that's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and it's this world that I want to develop further. So when a student comes in, they're going to be greeted with that message there, welcoming them to the Minecraft adventure. And as you can see, there are 4 paths branching off from the starting point. Each of those 4 paths is a general topic of skills that they may see from that qualifier test, from that ready test results. So that one was showing graphs and functions. We're about to see basic algebra here leading off into the forest. And the final 2 are geometry and basic math. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm hoping is going to happen here with this world is that it's going to inspire kind of exploration, essentially. I want the students to be able to have this open world that they can interact with, but also have the sense of progression, mystery, surprise, all those things that make a great video game. Okay, so what we're going to see right here is an example. Know that expressions with a denominator of 0 are undefined and have no solution. So that's a statement taken directly from the GED Ready Test results page. And here is a multiple choice question that is related to that skill. So even though these are just basic kind of text options on the chalkboards, you can see as a teacher you can get pretty creative with how to model something like a fraction. And that's also what I've done here in the second question to a little bit greater extent. So these are 2 questions that relate to that one skill area. There are about 20 questions that I could put in here if each question was to model one skill area. It would take about 20 questions in order to do that. So what you're seeing are only 2. And again, this goes back to this being a a project. Oh, I need to fix that, by the way. That's not the correct answer. The correct answer for that should have been +8, not -8. So, um, and behind that, I peeked over the ledge to show you some how the I guess how the programming works, how the electrical current lights the block based on the correct answer. So what you're seeing now is kind of like a progress area where as the students are answering questions, when they get a question right, one of these blocks will light up, indicating that they've done it. And my idea here was once all of those lights were completed, once they answered all the questions correctly, you saw those two doors there. And I was thinking I could use those doors as something kind of hiding a surprise or a reward for the student. Again, going back to that sense of progress and adventure. All right, so what are some of the foreseeable benefits to this project, to this Minecraft project? Well, again, the element of surprise, and not just for students, but for teachers. So let me explain what I mean by that. Not only will this be probably for our adult learners something that they've never done before, it will hopefully allow them to have a memorable learning experience. When they're sitting down taking that GED test, I want them to be prompted when they see a question. I want them to be prompted by a memory that's going to help them to figure out, okay, what question do I need to ask myself? Where do I go from here to get this answer? And so you do that, I've found, by creating memorable learning experiences. Well, that would be done here. But I think the most exciting thing about this for students, for our adult learners, is that they're going to have the opportunity, they're going to be struggling with this. And especially if they do it from home and they engage in this world from home. But again, as I said, most of our adult learners have children at home, and I would almost guarantee that if they haven't played Minecraft themselves, they have friends who have. So I just think it'd be kind of a cool opportunity for students and for our adult students to interact with their kids and say, hey, how do I jump? How do I fly? How do I interact with this lever? And at the same time, they're doing math questions with their children. So they can explain to their children how a math question is answered and just provide a really, I think, unique kind of back and forth learning experience and teaching experience for the adults and their children. But then also from my perspective, I can tell you this was quite a quite a cool challenge. I mean, it really allowed me to dive into one of the things I love about teaching, which is presenting material in a creative way. So I think other instructors, I mean, you don't need to have a bunch of technical expertise in order to do this. It's trial and error, and I think that instructors will find it to be an enjoyable experience. And then at large, kind of going big picture here, benefits of game-based learning. So the ISTE standards have a lot of things to say, a lot of good things to say about the potential for technology to enhance learning experiences. And one of the ways that this would be helpful for not only adult learners, but we're talking kindergarten through 12th grade as well, is that with a classroom of students all engaging in the same virtual world, they're going to have an instructor there that's kind of driving the whole experience and monitoring how they interact with each other. It could provide a good opportunity for the instructor to teach digital citizenship. Also, virtual environments allow for students to do things that they may not otherwise be able to do just because they don't have the materials to do it and physical materials. And then also the collaboration with students. I think having a common goal within the virtual environment has its own kind of self-driven motivation that if you can think it and dream it, you can create it. And those limitless possibilities will have a lot of good things to say about the future of game-based learning. So thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing this with me. And again, my name is Steven Shrike. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you again.